So this is my first video that I'm doing for my second channel, because my main channel, obviously, I'm a music producer, that's my job. I've kind of always loved the content creation side, and having to do everything so formal all the time sometimes puts a barrier in the way. And it restricts me from doing something else that I love, which is making videos, sharing perspectives, and just generally getting some stuff off my chest. And this often spills into the other content I do, which, you know, I never know if that's good or bad for my brand. I don't know if it's helping sell me as a person or what, but I thought it'd be a wise idea now, as I'm sort of 36 and entering the space where I'm a proper adult with 2 kids and a wife and a mortgage, that I just wanted to look into how I can grow beyond just the passion that I've had for my job and my career, which has been music forever. And I don't know, now that's really become the norm to me. Is like, as much as I still love it and I'm so grateful that I get to do something that I genuinely love and that I'm good at for my career, it has become a job. This is also my first time trying out this microphone, which I'm expecting to probably be picking up wind right now, which would be a shame. But we're trying new things, aren't we? But anyway, I just wanted to kick this side channel off with a little bit of a more personal video, really, while I'm out walking my dog. Which is kind of what I want to use this for, like really just put in these times where I've sort of got some of my other responsibilities, the times where I'm not at work, when I'm not in work mode, but I just feel like I want to be creative and I want to sort of express myself somehow and put it into some sort of use, and something a bit informal, something I haven't really got to overthink about, where there is no pressure on it, where there is no judgment on it. It's one of those things where I feel like, you know, people that know me in the real world, like my friends and my family and peers and people who maybe know me from afar, might look at this and think, what's he doing? And it's not something I'm actually going to be sharing with those people anyway. This is something that I want to try and, I don't know, connect with new people, put myself out there in a new environment, and just allow myself to learn how to do this sort of vlog style content and see if it's something that suits me and how I like live daily. Whether that's documenting trips, days out, just generally with those days where I wake up and I'm in a certain kind of mood. That might be a good mood, it might be a bad mood. I might feel high, I might feel low. But I think in those moments there's always something to share and a perspective to share on sort of like a human level. And you know, I like to think of myself as a bit of a thinker. That doesn't mean I think I'm get everything right. It doesn't mean I think I've got some sort of superior viewpoint. But like everyone, I do have a perspective, and I feel like there's a lot of people that have pursued a life of creativity without the sort of glitz and glam of the big city life and really going and pursuing it that way, which has not been the way I've done it. And it's not been the way I've wanted to do it, honestly. Like, it doesn't speak to me, that type of world. I like a far more humble kind of lifestyle and something a bit more chilled, like I'm doing now. Just a walk, a casual morning. It's like 10 a.m, the kids are at school. I've got sessions in an hour with some artists that I work closely with, and then that'll be my day dominated by that, and then by the end of the day I'll be like mentally exhausted. And this just gives me a way to do something almost for myself without having to consider anyone else. A little bit of self-therapy, but kind of putting it out there, and maybe that's something that connects with someone who resonates with the point I'm making. I know this video, with it being my first video and kind of an introduction to me even doing this, and me just kind of breaking the barrier of allowing myself to do it as well, and just kind of getting comfortable with this setup. I bought myself a little action cam and a little microphone purely to be able to do this and experiment with this and see if this format works for me, because walking around with a huge camera, you know, I bump into people that I live around. I don't really want to be known as Mr. walks around filming himself. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just conditioning or what, but it feels a bit strange and not kind of the type of thing that would be understood where I'm from, because I'm from a small town in the UK where not a lot of people are doing things like this, so it can come across a little bit strange and a little bit like delusional, I guess. But in the world I exist in, it's really normal, and like I spend so much time watching people's perspectives and I really respect the normal, everyday person that is putting themselves out there like this and just seeing if they've got a viewpoint that will connect with people. And I want to take advantage of this hyper-connected world rather than just consuming all the time. I like to create the content. I watch content as a consumer, but I know that I can contribute to it as a creator as well. We're about to go into the woods. I don't know what the footage is going to look like under here. I feel quite fortunate to have all this kind of environment around me. You know, it's just like an underpass woodland area, but we've got quite a lot around us, which lets me get, I don't know, it feels like I'm getting nature at the source sometimes, like fresh oxygen, but that could be bullshit in my mind. But at the same time, if your mind believes something, then at the very least it's going to have the placebo effect, and I'm going to feel like it's having an effect, even if in reality it's just another day and sharing the same air as everyone. But even from the perspective of someone like me, I'm not like a massive nature guy. I definitely don't touch grass enough. I know that's the current advice for life, is touch grass, touch grass. Honestly, I don't like the feel of grass under my feet. It makes me feel a bit weird. And it kind of annoys me about myself. But yeah, I'm a little bit too germophobia, a little bit of a flincher at a bug. I wouldn't describe myself as a person that is at one with nature in the traditional sense of trees, grass, dirt, pond water. But if we're thinking of nature as just life in general, then yeah, that's something I feel very connected to on sort of like a psychological level, and dare I say a spiritual level. But again, would I consider myself even a spiritual person? Not wholeheartedly, but I do have some values and some perspectives and even some experiences that fall. See, like there's a bug there, it's distracted me. But yeah, I have some values and some perspectives and, like I say, experiences that have led me down a bit more of a spiritual path. But it's not something I totally let dominate me. It's not something that really is the all-encompassing personality trait that I use at the forefront of myself. But it's one of those things that people discover about me as they get to know me and, you know, scratch beneath the surface a little bit. Because like many creatives, I'm a bit of an introvert, but I have extroverted tendencies. But they tend to come across in a more subdued kind of environment, like just somewhere that I feel like I'm a bit safer and with people I can trust, I suppose, like where it doesn't matter if you look a bit silly or if your words don't translate, people aren't going to completely judge you as some sort of delusional fool. And it's one of those things that I'm working on, and I'm sure, you know, it holds a lot of us back because it's part of the human condition. Like, we are surrounded by people all the time, unless we isolate ourselves, which I don't know, is that healthy either? For me, it's always been about trying to find a balance. My wife is a lot more social by nature, and I think we've balanced each other out. And I say that subjectively, each to their own, and I definitely don't judge her for it because, you know, we got married, so obviously I'm not judging her. But I do think we bring each other a nice balance, and I think that reflects in how we bring up our kids and how our kids are turning out to be. But yeah, I really just wanted to do a quick video to give some perspective on who I am early on and the type of thing to maybe expect from this channel, the type of tone that I want to put out there. I think every other day I have what I consider sort of valuable realizations and insights into life and growing as a person and growing in age. I'm still technically a young adult, but 5 or 6 years I'm going to be firmly in that middle age category. But I come from a generation where technology has been the norm, social media has been the norm. We're like the first generation where it's been there since the days we were sat drinking on a park. So we're like the first people to hit that middle age where we've got that massive internet influence all the way through our formative years. And I think it's honestly made us a younger age bracket. I think we're going to age in a way that feels more young. I think we're a bit more health conscious in general. There's been a lot more to have to sort of battle with psychologically. Fair enough, we haven't had like a world war on our doorstep, although some places on the planet obviously people have had to face that, but for us in the West it's not really quite been like that. So we've been privileged in that way, but it's left us a lot of time to find problems in much smaller things that really aren't problems. They're just experiences as humans to have to sort of navigate. But when we zoom out, which is a strategy that is like embedded in me now, and something I may do a video talking about, which is just to zoom out and get some perspective, really. That, you know, we're floating around on a big rock, soaring through space in eternity, or at least that's what we're told. Whether or not that's true, you know, that's another conversation. You get my tinfoil hat on a little bit. Who knows what the nature of reality really is, but let's just presume that it is as simple, well, I say simple, it's complex, but let's just say that it is the thing that we're all conditioned to understand. Just zoom out and look at it for what it is. This is, you know, a blip in time, and the daily struggles that feel like struggles are things that we need to learn to reframe, I think, as a set of people. And the more people that can like take that on and learn to move past things quicker and understand, you know, again, I've lived a fairly privileged life in the sense I haven't experienced loads of death, loads of loss. I've had a good family, a good upbringing, so I know a lot of people have had to face a lot more hardship. So I've had to kind of become aware of that and try and learn some of the lessons that you learn through hardship without the hardship, because I have a lot of admiration for people who have had a lot more struggle to deal with, and I try not to take my own experience for granted. And, you know, on some level I feel that people who've had to face a lot more hardship have got a perspective that I can never have, that I wish I almost could have. Wish I could download the learnings from that, but obviously naturally I wouldn't go back and opt into a tragic life, because it can go a couple of ways. But yeah, this is just an intro to myself. I don't know how frequently or what to even expect from doing this channel, other than it gives me just another outlet for a little bit of self-therapy without just being in my own head. It lets me externalize, put it out there, and maybe connect with some people that are on a similar wavelength. And I don't know, who knows where these things can lead to and where they can take you in this world. And I'm a big believer in that. So with that said, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thanks for watching and like kind of giving me a chance. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.